Welcome back, mathematicians. In this video, we are going to do two more examples where we are finding the sum of two complex numbers. Now, as a quick reminder, a complex number is a number written in the form a plus bi, where a is the real part and bi is the imaginary part. So the goal here is in two complex numbers, we're going to add the real parts together and then add the imaginary parts together, and the result is the sum. So in the first example, we see that the real parts are 2 and 6. And so we want to add those two parts together, so 2 plus 6. Then we identify the imaginary parts, which is 3i and negative 9i. And so we want to add the imaginary parts together, so that would be 3i plus a negative 9i, which I'm going to write as minus 9i. And then we combine them, so 2 plus 6 is equal to 8. And 3 minus 3i minus 9i is equal to negative or minus 6i. With the second example, you'll notice we have to do a little bit more work before we can add the two complex numbers together. So in the first complex number, we are going to drop down the real part, but with the imaginary part, we have to simplify it. So the square root of negative 25 can be rewritten as the square root of 25 times the square root of negative 1. Drop down the imaginary, or the real part rather, and the square root of 25 is equal to 5, and the square root of negative 1 is equal to I. So there's our new complex number that's simplified. Let's do the same thing for the second complex number, again dropping down the real part, and we need to simplify the square root of negative 100. We're going to rewrite this as the square root of 100 times the square root of negative 1. Drop down the real part, and the square root of 100 is equal to 10, and the square root of negative 1 is equal to I. So now we're prepared to identify the real parts and imaginary parts and add them. So one more time, the real parts are 4 and negative 8. So I'm going to rewrite this as 4 plus a negative 8, or just rather 4 minus 8. Now I'm going to identify the imaginary parts, and so we have 5i and negative 10i. Again, don't forget the negative. So now I'm going to rewrite this as 5i minus, rather than plus a negative, 10i. Now we're going to combine those like terms, and so we get negative 4 plus a negative 5i, which could be rewritten as negative 4 minus 5i. So your sum of these two complex numbers is negative 4 minus 5i. All right, guys, good luck.